I did want to talk a little bit about the Snow White, but unfortunately, that's another thing I had here for Paul because I wanted. How do you guys feel about dwarfs being taken out of Snow White? So Snow White's obviously flailing. It's kind of an interesting problem that they're having with a diversity thing because you have I saw this thing where you had a little person. He was protesting outside of a theater because they had changed the dwarfs into um, like CGI characters, and before that they weren't going to hire dwarfs because they were going to hire fucking just like random fucking normal sized people to be dwarfs. They're just basically going to ignore that dwarfs exist altogether. So it's interesting, a marginalized people, one might say, and they already have limited opportunity for roles in Hollywood to begin with. So it's an interesting overcorrection where you have Disney, which typically is like, they're gonna make fucking Qui-Gon Jinn a fucking black lesbian from fucking Iran, but then you end up kind of while trying to follow the same logic of trying to be nice to all groups and you don't want to make any group the butt of a joke or whatever. And so then you're like, well, we're not going to take advantage of the dwarfs, even though the story is written about dwarfs. And I mean, we have these dwarfs that actually exist. It's a tough position to be in. And then not to mention the Rachel Zegler or whatever the fuck, the main lady. I know at first people were mad because she's not like her skin isn't Snow White. I don't even think that's the hill to die on, guys. Let's just say that she's a fucking mean, rude bitch. Whenever I see her doing an interview, it's like, how could you be so fucking unlikable? Like, that's one thing we need to bring back. Actors not doing as many interviews. It almost never helps. You never like see an interview from an actor, unless it's Chris Hemsworth, who he's just a fucking likable bastard. But let's see. He is a rich, deluded commentator. More than that, Connor M will never win our beloved Ireland. I don't know. Because there's a nationalistic kind of like pride that is, I think, stewing in Ireland anyways, based off of their history and their, the occupation of England. So, it does kind of seem like it's ripe for somebody to come in there and really say like, don't let them take Ireland from you. Ireland needs to stay Irish. And, like I said, this is literally the terminology that he's using. It's extremely inflammatory. Inflammatory. Shit is hot. It can really set the whole place ablaze, to be honest. It can get real IRA-y, and if you know what I'm saying. So what was the Snow White situation. So yeah, that is flailing at the box office though. Let's go ahead and pull up the numbers just because I was looking at it earlier and I was really fucking surprised. I think it had a IMDb of like 1.6%. Like, Jesus Christ. The one thing that's tough though, now you have to worry about these, like, well, not worry because who gives a shit, but these like campaigns, these online campaigns that people will start where it's like, go review the movie without even watching it. So you don't always know, but Rotten Tomato also 42%. Gal Gadot as the evil queen. I've seen people say that they were rooting for the apple in the movie. We want to see the box office. Show us the box office, baby. Let's see the numbers. You need to give us the numbers. This is a capitalistic society. We want to know, did you fucking win or fail? That's how we judge art in this country, by the fucking dollar sign. The remake of the classic had a disappointing 87 million global debut. Imagine being disappointed by $87 million. That missed 9-figure expectations. It also underwhelmed in the US with a 43 million showing that fell short of the 50 million estimate. I mean, that's not that far off though. Let's just keep it real. I don't think everybody just said it's woke, let's not go. Runs the movie, Consolidate, told to the. I just think it is a bit confusing. It's cross signals. I think a lot of it goes back to the film. The reviews are not good. I think people just think of it and they're like, that movie's a fucking joke. I'm not going to waste my time and my money to go watch it. So point blank period. I think that's what it is. Also, yeah, I mean, when the marketing that you're seeing for it from the actresses and stuff like that is them being like, this is not your story from the 1940s. There's not going to be a man that comes and saves the day in this one. It's like, just the thing is, you're fucking cringing people out. That's the problem. It's like people are hearing that and they're like, oh my God, this fucking person is cringe. I don't want to watch them on a TV screen for an hour and a half. No, thank you. So you're just not pulling them in. So you're not pulling them in from that aspect. Also, stealing the jobs from the poor dwarfs. It's like, fuck, who can get behind that? You know what I mean? Like, there's one dwarf in Hollywood that gets any roles, and his name is Tyrion fucking Lannister. Everybody else, you know, they're not getting shit. They're not even making fucking movies about fucking leprechauns and shit anymore. You know, where are the opportunities for our little people? This is it. When they make a fucking Snow White, that's their fucking, if you're lucky enough as a dwarf to be alive as a dwarf actor, if you're lucky enough for them to make a Snow White live action while you're alive, it's basically like seeing a fucking star combust in the air or seeing a fucking lunar eclipse. It's actually probably more rare than that. You know, you're going to see more lunar eclipses than you're going to see remakes of Snow White. So you got 7 opportunities. Sleepy, fucking grumpy, sicky, fucking all of them. Those are your opportunities. Fit into one of those, you know, and fucking send in your audition tape because this is your big chance. Wish upon a star. They should have just hired dwarfs. What the fuck? Yeah, absolutely. They should have hired dwarfs, and it was like I mean, basically what I'm saying. It's like, how many opportunities do dwarfs honestly get to get a role? Period, to be honest, because they don't even cast dwarfs to play fucking normal sized people and fucking put them on stilts or fucking CGI them because their fucking face would look kind of, you'd still be able to tell they're a dwarf probably. I'm just spitballing here. So what else do we say? It's not tough. They should have just hired dwarfs. Rachel Z does have an incredible voice, though. She may have an incredible voice, but whenever she uses it not to sing but speak, people fucking hate it, and it makes them want to fucking throw up. Best streamers. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Thank you, buddy, for posting that in there. Go to streamboo.com. What else we got here? Gal Gadot is a horrible actor. What in the hell? Actually atrocious. Yeah, I mean, that might be true. But it might also be the fucking fact that they didn't hire any dwarfs, and it was a clusterfuck where they hired normie fucking 5 foot and taller people, and then they fired all those people because the backlash, and then they decided to do the dwarfs in CGI. So I think people didn't like that. That just made your movie like a laughing stock. It was completely indecisive on what the vision was, and yeah, people are just like, what the fuck is even going on with the movie? I'm not going to even take a chance to waste my weekend with my family to do that. I got to get right back to my fucking slave job tomorrow morning. I'm not going to spend all day fucking listening to this fucking ungrateful asshole playing Snow White telling us, hey, it's not going to be what they're saying when they're like, hey, it's not going to be your 1940s Snow White where a man comes to save the day. Oh, okay, so it's not going to be, you're going to make a movie, Snow White, that's basically not Snow White at all? Great. Why not just make the other fucking movie? Is always the point. Is all consistently when we have these conversations, that's always the point. Why not just make a new fucking movie? And then, by the way, you would have saved yourself the headache of not hiring the fucking dwarfs because you could have had whatever the fuck other roommates, and you could have saved yourself the hassle of people being like, why the fuck are you cutting the Prince Charming, whoever the fuck guy out, or minimizing the role just to make the fictional character feel more empowered as a woman? Give me a break. The Manosphere on YouTube has been on a hate fest on this movie hardcore. Some things are just really easy to hate. That's the thing, you know, and some things really deserve the hate. When you see a bunch of people, regardless of their connection, whether it be Manosphere or fucking Red Pill or all these little groups on online, sometimes when there's universal hate on something, it's not always wrong. Is the point. It's actually not. The Star Wars thing is hilarious and correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's really a damn shame that they take that away from, they take these dwarves' opportunity to become a star themselves. They're trying to combust. They want to combust on our screens. And we're not allowing them because we don't want to hurt their feelings and make them feel like we're laughing at them. But the thing is, like, was the laugh ever about them being short in the movie? I feel like that was just like they just happened to be dwarfs. It wasn't really like, I don't know. The thing is, I don't remember Snow White clear enough to be able to say, like, were them being dwarfs like a negative thing? Like, was that like a laughing joke in the movie? I mean, I just remember that being a thing that they were dwarfs and they were sleepy. They had their characteristics. Maybe people are mad. Like, was Tyrion Lannister? Because actually, a lot of this came from actually Tyrion Lannister, the motherfucker, Peter Dinklage. I'll put some respect on his name because he killed it in Game of Thrones, and he was really good in X-Men. What the fuck was that one called? I don't know. The one where he was like fucking president or something. But he was great in that. Great actor, deserves more opportunities, and that's what he was kind of getting to in the moment. He's like, as a dwarf actor, when you're first breaking onto the scene, a lot of the opportunities that you get are these, bullshit, seven dwarfs or whatever. I think he literally used that example. But it's like, that's how you kick in the door, baby. You kick in the door by being the best fucking happy that you've ever seen. You just being a happy little guy. You know what I mean? Like getting on camera, putting your fucking long sleeves on, getting your fucking, nose nice and red and runny, for the scene, and however you do that. And there's some fun ways to go about doing that. And yeah, you know what I mean? Being the best fucking happy that anybody's ever seen. So then they say, you know what? Put a little fucking funny mustache on the guy, give him a bowl cut, and he could be the president in the 1970s. He wasn't the president in that, but he was a character, he was important. He wasn't, and him being a dwarf was irrelevant, Tyrion Lannister in the X-Men movie. He just happened to be shorter than everybody in the scenes. And honestly, they handled that really well. Just anytime that he was in a scene talking, everybody else had to be seated. That was one thing. You don't want people just fucking towering over him in a scene. That would just look crazy. And there's some just visual things, that we have to overcome when we're talking about putting dwarfs in films. And I get it, you know what I mean? But we can figure it out. So another movie that